I would like your opinion regarding Trane furnace complaints.
Trane does not generate as many complaints as its sister brand American Standard, but that's because the units that fail Trane standards get the AS label.
I've heard the joke, but I've also heard a lot of complaints about Trane furnaces. I'm assuming that's more than complaints about the price of the unit new, or the cost of replacement parts.
Sometimes the complaints are due to little things that add up to big complaints.
A replacement part plus labor and mileage is costly with Trane.
I'm thinking more about the air intake not having a screen, so it sometimes sucks in leaves that trigger the pressure switch, causing it to shut off. You can put your own screen on it, or pay someone to put one on.
At which point, you're complaining about the extras to keep the furnace serviceable after paying that much to install it.
Trane units are louder than you'd think.
It's in the basement, so that's not a major complaint for us.
The fan motors are not as prone to breaking as some competitors, but the fans themselves sometimes break off and melt.
That's not a typical maintenance issue.
A more common problem is the ignition not igniting.
The definition of a furnace is one that contains the inferno I hope to heat my home with.
You can have problems with it shutting down because the ignition won't stop sparking or has uneven feed of gas. Too little fuel getting into the furnace so it shuts off because it won't run or not running at a constant rate, wearing things out.
Too much, too little, and not just right. I'm trying to think of a complaint you did not include in that list.
One benefit of Trane is that there are service people for it everywhere. One of the downsides of Trane is that everyone thinks he can work on it or install it.
Of course they'd want the money for the job.
The Trane furnace is advertised with the byline "Nothing stops a Trane." However, an air intake not installed right, an exhaust that does not angle right, or a water release that is not put in properly will all shut it off.
You already mentioned the leaves in the air intake triggering the pressure switch.
The safety features are excellent, but the design ends up shutting off the furnace for a lot of minor things that are not your fault but might be the installer's, leaving you fuming because you do not have heat.
I'm assuming that's all different from the igniter burning itself out, assuming it ignited at all.
If you have problems, you will get burned out by the constant repair bills.